Hello, welcome to lesson 2 of magnetic fields. So, first thing that you have got to have done is to have matched these quantities to their units. If you have not done so, please pause the video. Luckily, I've already put them on screen here, and I just like you to match them up. If you have done it, fantastic. I will go through and we'll just match them up together. So, voltage, also called potential difference, measured in volts. Current, measured in amps. Charge, measured in coulombs. Time, measured in seconds. Power, measured in watts. Oh, I missed out energy. How did I miss that out? It's weird. Okay, apologies. So I just realised I literally just moved down to, energy, joules, and resistance, ohms. Bizarre. Anyway, there you go. Matched up, lovely. So today we are looking at electromagnets. So for you, title and date. It's obviously not 2019 today. So whatever date it is when you're seeing this. And let's crack on. So the first thing that you need to know is that whenever electricity runs through a wire, any wire at all, any current, it will create a magnetic field. So electricity, current, magnetism and movement are really interconnected, and this whole topic is really about how they link together, how we can create one of those three things by putting in two of them. So today we're going to be putting in movement and electricity, current, and we're going to be getting a magnetic field out. So you're taking an electric current, putting it in a wire, and you get a magnetic field created around that wire. So here, when a current flows through a wire, a circular magnetic field is created around the wire. So it's always a circle. So have a little look at this diagram here. You can see a wire going up through the middle there. Here's my wire. Current is going up, so the current's flowing up here. And you can see that nice circular field being created around it. Now, the direction of the magnetic field is given by the right-hand rule. By this I mean, can you see that circle has got arrows on it? Because remember, a magnetic field, the lines will always point the direction a compass would point. So you always have to draw arrows on your magnetic field. So here, current is going up, and you can see that magnetic field is going round anti-clockwise. And I can tell that it's going to be anti-clockwise because I use this right-hand grip rule. So have a look at the diagram on the right. You can see that this person is holding their hand as if they are hitchhiking. So they've got their right hand, they've got their thumb out, and they've got their fingers curved round. Now your thumb, you need to point in the direction of the current. So here, the current is going up, kind of up the page as it were. So you then point your thumb up the page. When you then have a look at your fingers, you will see they are pointing, from my perspective, they are kind of pointing up and over. Do you know what? Hang on, I'm just going to rearrange things. I'm going to film my camera. Please ignore the fact that you're going to see my slippers in it and my rug. So here we go. Here's my lovely rug. So this is how you're holding your hand. Your thumb is the direction of the current, and your fingers here are pointing up. Can you see that? They're kind of pointing up and around. Now, I would say if you are looking at them, sorry, I feel like I've got orange in my thumb. I'm going to move it further away so you don't get the grub on my thumb. They are moving. Can you see they are going anti-clockwise? They are pointing anti-clockwise. If I point my thumb down, how am I going to show this? Apologies, this is really hard to show whilst trying to film your own thumb. Right, I'm pointing my thumb down. There you go, can you see? And look at my fingers, they are going clockwise. Can you see that? My thumb is pointing down, my fingers are going clockwise. Point up, my fingers go anti-clockwise. Point down, my fingers go clockwise. So that's what I mean by the right-hand grip. You point your thumb in the direction of the current and your fingers go in the direction of the magnetic field. So it's always going to be a circle, but which way are the arrows pointing? Look at your fingers. Yes, in a test you are allowed to do this. You actually have another rule which uses your left hand, which comes tomorrow. And so examiners are prepped that you might be doing this in an exam and kind of making weird signs. That's okay. So yeah, write this down. You will need, I would suggest getting both diagrams there, or do the one on the right if you're confident that you can understand it completely. So let's just have a practice. Exam type question. Indicate the direction of the current and the shape and direction of the magnetic field. And there are 3 marks here. So here you've got a circuit. You can see there is a plus here and a minus here. So the first thing you need to do is find out which direction the current is going. So let's have a look. Current always goes from positive to negative. So it's going to come out, then it's going to go along, then it's going to go down, and then it's going to go around. I mean, obviously the switch is currently open, so let's assume the switch is shut. And then it's going to go back up to the battery or cell. So I know it's a full loop and you've got ups and downs and to the sides, etc. The only bit of current that we care about is the current that is going through the paper at this point. So you ignore the rest of the circuit and you just look at that bit of wire, because that's the bit of wire that's in creating the magnetic field on that paper. The rest of them will have their own magnetic fields, but we're looking at the bit on the paper. So let me just get rid of that. Okay, so now let's use your right hand grip rule. I want you to point your thumb down. In fact, here we go. So here's our current going through, and smaller. We know that the magnetic field will be circular. That's a given. But what direction are the arrows going to be pointing? So use your thumb, point it down. Oh, look, your fingers, which tell you the direction of the magnetic field, are pointing clockwise. So you need to draw arrows on your magnetic field, showing the fact it's going clockwise. So here we go, right. 1 point for the direction of the current, 1 point for the shape of the field, that's circle, and 1 point for the direction of the field, showing the fact it's going clockwise. So right hand grip rule. If you use your left hand, it won't surprise you to learn that everything will be backwards. So you must make sure you are doing the right hand. Okay, so that was that. Every time a current flows through a wire, you create a magnetic field. If you just have a single piece of wire, it won't be a very big magnetic field. Sometimes I want a large magnetic field. So if that is the case, I need to use something called a solenoid. A solenoid really is just a coil of wire with current running through it. It has a much stronger magnetic field than a straight piece of wire. So just one single straight piece, tiny magnetic field. Put a solenoid together, you get a much stronger one. And let's just have a look as to why. So, here we go. Okay, so have a look at this loop. This loop is one part of the solenoid. Remember that the solenoid is that loop, that coil. So you'll have lots and lots of loops. So we're just focusing on one loop now. So you've got one loop here. You've got current going in one side and then down the other. And presumably you then have lots of loops carrying on afterwards. Can you see that you've got inside the magnetic field, if this current, oh, I can't draw on it. Let's try this. Yes, right. Current is going up here. Use your thumb, use your right hand grip rule. You can see that your magnetic field is going to be anti-clockwise. Lovely, it's drawn that. Here, where current is going down, put your thumb down, you'll see the magnetic field is going clockwise. Look in the middle of that loop of wire. You will see the magnetic field for both types is going down. So they will act together and they will add to each other and make a stronger magnetic field. So whereas you would have just had half of that with a single piece of wire, now you've got a loop, you've got double that. Now imagine you have lots and lots of loops of wire and all the magnetic fields. Suddenly, can you see how many magnetic field lines we're getting? This is the wonkiest magnetic field I've ever seen. You know what I'm trying to show here though. The more magnetic field lines, remember, the stronger the magnetic field. So by having lots and lots of loops of wire, you end up with a very strong field. What's happened to my keynote? Hello, keynote. Okay, here we go. Right, so overall, when you look at the magnetic field inside a solenoid, it looks again a bit like a burger. You have one end which will be north and one end which will be south. We will look at the north and south poles later on in the topic. Don't worry too much about that. For the time being, just know that one end is north and one end is south. The north pole, again, look, can you see that the magnetic field lines are coming out of the north pole and they will go round just like they have before and loop round. Can you see they make loops? So they'll loop all the way round and they'll go towards the south pole. So on the outside of the solenoid, just like it has before, the magnetic field always points from north to south. The inside though, can you see those straight lines? we refer to them as a uniform field. So this is a field where it doesn't vary in strength. Remember, the closer the lines are, the stronger it is. Well, there the lines are all equidistant apart and they don't change. So that's a uniform field. And here you can see they point from south to north. That's really, they're just completing the loop. So we try to draw our magnetic field lines in loops, in these circles. And on the outside, they're always north to south. And then they just complete the loop in the middle. So you can see it's quite a burger-shaped magnetic field there. So if you can please get that down, that would be perfect. So, great. I've got a solenoid and I can make a magnetic field. By putting current through my wire, I can make a magnetic field. But let's say I want to make it even stronger. Great, I've got my solenoid, it's more than a normal piece of wire. I want an even stronger magnetic field. How do I do that? I add more turns of wire. The more turns of wire you have, the stronger the magnetic field. Number 2, I add an iron bar through the middle of it. So iron, as we know, is a soft magnetic material and it basically enhances the magnetic field that's in the middle of that solenoid. 3, I run more current through it. The more current you have running through your solenoid, no real surprise, the stronger the magnetic field. So why do we care about all of this? We're making electromagnets. We're making magnets, making that magnetic field using electricity. So here are some uses of electromagnets: motors, generators, doorbells, cranes, and levitating trains. When I was at uni, I did a whole essay on levitating trains. They are called maglev trains. They have them in Japan. They are very cool. So magnetic levitating trains. So yes, there you go. Electromagnets, hopefully fairly straightforward. You get to pick the thumb up and look like you're hitchhiking a lot. I hope you've got the notes. If there are any questions, please let me know. I'm always here to help. And I shall see you soon. Thanks.